Brian Cole didn't just wake up one day and decide to allegedly drop pipe bombs outside of the DNC and RNC. In fact, according to the FBI, he told them exactly what motivated him. The big lie. The 2020 election, he believed, was stolen. Yes, that's right. Here we are, the big lie.
In Venezuela.
So here's what we know. The FBI arrested 30-year-old Brian Cole on Thursday. They said that he planted viable explosive devices near both the Democratic and Republican National Committee headquarters the night before the January 6th Capitol attack. During hours of interviews with the FBI, sources say Cole had repeatedly claimed that the 2020 election was rigged. That's the same lie, of course, that Trump had pushed and continues to push. The same lie that right-wing media amplified. The same one that, again, Fox News actually ended up having to pay $787.5 million with Dominion voting systems to settle. The same lie that Republican politicians had fundraised on. Now, the FBI said Cole spent months stockpiling bomb-making materials and then finally dropped them outside of the offices of both major parties. Months. And this is while Trump was ranting about a stolen election. While Fox News and the rest of the right-wing media ecosystem were screaming about stop the steal, this guy was sitting in his garage turning that propaganda into explosive devices. Agents dug through his cell phone data, credit card records, license plate reader hits, and cell tower pings to track down his movements in D.C. and tie him to the bomb sites. And when they finally searched his home, they said that they found exactly what you would expect. The same kinds of pipes, wiring, timers, and other components that matched the bombs left at the party offices. And once they had him, of course, they sat him down, they talked to him. Cole actually spent hours talking to FBI investigators. Multiple sources said that he told them straight up, yes, I believe the 2020 election was stolen by Joe Biden. He believed the conspiracy theories that Trump and his media ecosystem blasted out non-stop. It's not, I have questions. I'd like to see an audit. No, he believed the full-on stolen election fantasy. That was his motive. And now, of course, as a result, he's facing some serious federal charges. Transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce, an attempted malicious destruction using fire and explosives, plus charges tied to actually making and placing those devices. And, of course, look at the target. Both the DNC and the RNC. Interesting. Now, that is what happens, of course, when you convince people that the entire system is completely illegitimate. When Trump and his allies tell their followers that the election is stolen, that everybody, Democrats, some Republicans even, courts, local officials, they're in on some massive plot to steal the election, to destroy democracy. Well, some people don't just rage post about it on Facebook. No, they start actually treating the entire political system as the enemy. I mean, this is an example of textbook stochastic terrorism. You do not need to find a memo that says go build a bomb. You just have to flood millions of people with BS lies about a rigged election and corrupt political parties, and a certain percentage will take matters into their own hands. Yikes. Then the politicians and pundits who lit the fuse, of course, get to shake their heads and say, we never saw this one coming. I mean, well, obviously, we never told them to go and build a bomb or anything. And what am I referring to? People like Dan Bongino. Yeah, Dan Bongino. Who had to walk back his previous claims that the FBI itself, who he is now the deputy director of, was complicit in the plot to place the bombs near the party headquarters. Okay. In fact, he said this when pressed by Sean Hannity about it on Thursday.
I don't want to, listen, I was paid in the past, Sean, for my opinions. That's clear. And one day I'll be back in that space. But that's not what I'm paid for now. I'm paid to be your deputy director. And we base investigations on facts. And, it was interesting. I was looking out in the crowd today at the presser, and I saw a couple of media figures who you and I both know who promoted the other scandal, the collusion hoax. And I thought to myself, the difference between us and them is, we evolve. As information and new inputs come out, we can produce different outputs because that's what we believe in. We believe in facts and investigations guided by facts. There were people out there in that crowd, I'm sure still believe in this collusion fairy tale hoax.
I absolutely love that because he's admitting that, well, they pay me for my opinions, not for facts. So your opinion is not factual. Great. I mean, especially when it came to the conspiracy theory that Cole himself had bought into, allegedly, which is the stolen election BS. And then, of course, you see him try to cover his ass to MAGA by talking about, oh, well, it's the collusion. Remember that? It's Russia, right? And you know what? He did that on purpose because it provokes a Pavlovian reaction with any MAGA person that hears it. And they immediately like, oh, yeah, Russia. I mean, look, here's the thing. Here's the cruel irony about Mr. Cole. The same democratic institutions that he believed that he was defending by planting bombs are now the ones that are charging him, giving him a lawyer and putting him in front of a judge. That's actually what a, rule of law system looks like. Man is not a patriot. He's not a freedom fighter. He is a man who has been radicalized by a con, staring down years of federal prison because he chose to believe in Donald Trump's lies over every single court ruling, every recount, and every piece of actual legitimate evidence. That right there is the real cost of letting something like the big lie continue to live on. It's not just like toxic family dinners at Thanksgiving or unhinged Facebook posts or Truth Social posts from, the president. Truth essential. No, it's also bombs at party headquarters. It is it's violent mobs at the Capitol building. That's the reality. It is normal people turned into potential terrorists because a movement told them that democracy itself is fake. Look, if we're serious about defending our institutions, about defending democracy, well, then going after the guy who was holding the pipe bomb is kind of the bare minimum here. Okay, the deeper problem is that machine that is feeding people the fantasy that these elections are rigged, that both parties are illegitimate, and that violence is a legitimate political tool. And you guys remember the poll, of Republicans saying that, violence is, violence is totally a legitimate thing, and we might have to use it to get, quote, get our country back. Okay, as long as that machine continues to run, there will always be another tool like Brian Cole, who is ready to turn his conspiracy theories into explosives. If this video helped you cut through the BS and see what is really happening, then smash that like button. Every single like pushes back against the right-wing propaganda machine. I can't do this work without your support. So please check out my Patreon. Link is in the description of this video. For a few bucks a month, you can help keep this channel independent from corporate BS. So hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's keep fighting for democracy and against fascism together.